So here are my current electric motorcycles that I have. I recently did this. It's a 2001 Gen 1 Hayabusa. I found the frame on Marketplace. It was in pieces, swing arm was detached, front forks were out, no calipers. It was literally just a clean frame, which is all I was looking for. I got a really good deal on it. Everything seems straight. Had to buy foot ped. I mean, everything on here is pretty much, I wouldn't say new. Obviously, it's a 2001, but eBay special. So I went with a QS 273 3.5T hub motor. Really wish I would have went with a 5T, but I'm having a custom built 6T motor. That should give me a lot more torque. This is more of a, it really doesn't want to pick up till about 30 miles an hour, then it takes off, but that's just part of the winding. So it's a 96 volt ND 96 1800 far driver controller, 800 line amp, 80 amp hour battery, charges to 110 volts. The guy actually gave me some front forks with it, but I mean, definitely not made for road use. Any little bump you hit, I did put them on for a mile or so, and every bump you hit, they'd bottom out. They were leaking real bad, so I got these on eBay, which are much more play. I mean, you can tell there's full shock there, so definitely gives me the suspension I need. Changed out the rotors, repainted the rotors, repainted pretty much everything on this bike, except the forks, obviously, but repainted calipers, repainted the brake lever. Obviously, I only have one, no need for a clutch lever. Got a new brake reservoir. The one that he did provide leaked as well. New handles, obviously different display, new headlights, new turn signals, new bulbs. Like I said, pretty much everything on here that can be new is. The rest is just, I found the best shape I could on eBay. New mirrors, new windshield, new fairings, new tank cover, the Hayabusa. So it does have reverse. One thing that they asked me, kind of a checklist where I got the controller from, you know, things that I would want, and I saw reverse was an option. I said, Dale, yeah, I'll take reverse. So it is very convenient, you know, when you're backing out of somewhere, you can just throw it in reverse, and it's a low RPM reverse, but it's strong enough to actually kind of pull you. Issue I didn't really want to deal with, and I probably will later on down the road, is fabricating my own brake caliper. The stock Busa caliper is a little thicker. It doesn't want to fit in there very well. So what I did is, so when I give it, I actually wired in the regen into the brake pedal. So you can change that to different settings. Like if at 500 RPMs you want 80% regen, at 800 RPMs you want 75, whatever the case is, you can change it, which I still need to play with it a little bit. But it works very well. I mean, I've used it out and about. I've only put, I don't know, 10, 15 miles on it, but rode around town a little bit. Freezing cold. It's February here in Tennessee. But like I said, did okay. The brakes work fine. I might adjust them here and there a little bit to kind of change the power of them. But anyways, yeah, so like I said, everything's new. New brake levers, new tail lights, turn signals, fairings. Back seat's not new. Obviously, it's not on right now. Obviously, brand new back tire. Front tires, probably 80% still. Repainted the whole frame. Redid most of the bolts. Brand new fairing bolts. Brand new brake lines. I had to fabricate this myself. The dropout for the Hayabusa was a little bit different. What we got here? Was a little bit different than the motor I put on here, so I had to make it just a little bit smaller. You can tell here. So that bolt would have been really tucked in there. I probably could have got away with it, but I really wanted that stem to be really fitted in there, so you can't really tell. But I also CNC'd, so there's a big gap between this where the main stem for the Busa motor would go through, or the wheel. And I CNC'd a little block in there that's the exact same diameter as these. So there's no play up and down. It's in there very firm. These are grade 8 lag bolts. They're good for 150,000 PSI each. So shouldn't be an issue. obviously 2 on each side. Yeah, seems good. Like I said though, I really need to test it a little more, just ride it around, wait for a warm day so I can have an excuse. And then this one is my first bike I've ever done. It is a Yamaha SR250. Same concept, found just a frame. Well, I had a motor in it, it was blown, but I think I paid like $300 for it. Clean title, original tank. I did have to Bondo a bunch of the tank and patch some stuff and cover some dents, repaint it. I did buy the seat separate. It had a stock, I guess. I don't know what kind of seat it had on it, but it didn't look super appealing. So new lights, new wiring on this and the Busa. I had to rewire everything. There's no harnesses or nothing that came with the stock bike, so I had to rewire all of it. One thing I'm looking at changing on this maybe this summer is the front suspension. I'm going to retrofit some kind of more modern, more aggressive suspension. With the power this has now versus what it did originally, it wants to pull those tubes out of the forks. I mean, it's really not made for this kind of power. I did change the back suspension. I did want to squat real bad. My tail light, you can't really see in here, but it would rub the back wheel real bad when I'd really get on it because that back end would want to drop down. So did have to change out the back suspension. Haven't got to the front yet. You can see kind of my fabrication here for the motor. It's a QS 180. This one's getting about 420 line. The Busa is set up for 800 line. It's not getting that now, but it will once I get my new motor. Let's see how many miles. I know I put over 1,000, I think, on this one. Let's see here, 1,049. So yeah, this one I've had probably 2-3 years. This is my main commuter. I've done a couple Ninjas as well. I did a 250, done some go-karts, four-wheelers, a couple random projects I've done converted. But this one here is my Z125 Pro. I bought this, it's a 2020 or 2021, one or the other. Bought this stock. I lowered it, stretched the back end. This thing would do 60 miles an hour tops. Now it does 0 to 60 in low 3 seconds. Most dramatic difference was this. It's just unreal, the difference between power versus that gas combustion versus the electric. I'm giving this one close to 500 line amps. I think it's like 780 phase, maybe 800, somewhere around in there. It's been a while since I tuned this one. But the torque on this is just, I mean, you can pull the front wheel off the ground going 15 miles an hour. I mean, 15, 20, it really does. Compared to what it was, night and day difference. I don't know. Let's see what this one has on it. 252 miles. So, like I said, I've built this probably the middle of last summer. Didn't really change much on it. I did have to do some CNC work back here. These extenders, the stem on these electric motors is typically a lot thicker than the original, especially on these smaller bore bikes. I had to CNC this out a little bit thicker, and that's about it. All I've done to this is stretch it. I dropped it about 1.5 inches. QS 260, far driver Indy 72 1000. So like I said, I'm giving it about 500, right under 500 line amps, around 800 phase, 72 volt, 60 amp hour. The Cafe Racer has 72 volt, 72 amp hour. Far driver 72 1800. Like I said, about 420 line amps, a little less than the small one. And this one's the Indy 96 1800. Charges to about 110 volts. But like I said, the most dramatic difference is the small bore. I mean, people just don't see it coming. I mean, they think that if they know anything about these Zs, they see it and they're like, oh, he might be able to do 60 if he's going downhill, but I've had it over 100. I mean, this is a 5T motor, so it is a lot more torque. I'm very curious to see the difference on this, giving it actually around, I don't know how many phase amps I'll be able to give it, but going to that 6T lower KV motor, it should make a big difference as far as torque. I think this one's wound at around 27 kV, something crazy. It doesn't really want to pick up until about 20-30 miles an hour. Then it starts to really build those amps. So honestly, I'd say just with the riding, I'd say it'd do over 150 easy. I mean, just with the way it's wound. Now with the 6T, I'll be looking more and probably in the 100 to 120 range, which is absolutely fine with me. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I really want that low end torque. I have no desire to really go over 150 miles an hour. I know some guys are speed demons. I'm more of a 0 to 60 stoplight kind of guy. So, like I said, this is the one I'm still kind of focusing on, still doing some stuff, still changing some things, just kind of tuning mainly. I think cosmetically and powertrain, everything's where I want it. As far as brakes, front suspension, back suspension, stuff like that. I did hollow this tank's completely hollow. It is all dented up too. I just put a cover on it, but you don't see it anyways. So, but yeah, it's completely hollow. So the battery pretty much rides all the way up into the top, kind of like the Air box did originally. But like I said, didn't have a motor, didn't have a cluster, didn't have anything. I mean, it was literally just a frame in pieces. So, yeah. So far, it seems to be my favorite. It was the funnest one I've done. I did a go-kart too with a QS180. That was a lot of fun as well. But I think this one's probably my most prized possession, if you will, as far as, hate it or love it. I'm sure it pisses a lot of people off. A Gen 1 Busa converted to electric. I know that I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but it's a lot of fun in the process. I really enjoyed doing it. One more thing too. So mileage, I think that it's very estimated because it says I can get 86 miles out of a charge on this one. But the thing is, this one I've gone around 75 miles on it, cutting it really close. So this one's telling me about the same thing, typically 86 miles. So I really think that that's not very accurate. But I don't know. I haven't really tested it. Like I said, this one I have gone probably 70 miles on a charge, but I knew I was going for a long trip, so I made sure to really kind of eco it around, not really use much of those amps. So, yeah, like I said, I enjoy doing it. I try to every winter have a project, and typically over the last couple of years, it's been some sort of electric conversion. I think next year, I want to do like either a golf cart or maybe one of those gym cars. I don't know if you've seen those, but it's like a golf cart, but it's enclosed. And we have a lot of friends around the neighborhood. It'd be nice. There's a big hill in our neighborhood. It'd be nice to be able to haul my lazy ass up that hill versus having to walk it, especially in the winter. So if you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know. Be safe.